Hey travelers, just stopping by to let you know that this episode that you are about to listen to is one of our older ones, and we were going through some growing pains at this time. But if you would like to start from where we consider our newest era of quality, I would go ahead and jump to episode 54, The American Bigfoot. Either way, enjoy travelers. Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole, everybody. I'm Jeremy, your host. I'm with CJ today. CJ, what's up, man?
I don't know. I was looking for a dad joke and I lost it, but all right, I'm here.
That's all right. I'm sure they'll come. We're dads. That's what we do.
Right.
We have a special guest today, another returning guest, Ninja Chris from the Crypto Technical Podcast. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. Just sitting here being awesome like usual.
Yeah.
See how awesome you are in a minute. Ninja has no idea what we were talking about today. I knocked on his door and said, let's go do a podcast. He said, okay.
Good. That's how we like it.
Yeah. That's what happened the last time I was on here, and that's how it started with Crypto Technical as well. Hey, you want to do a podcast? All right, come into the office.
Well, you're a pretty easygoing dude, man. I like that about you.
Yeah, that's some days.
We had somebody else lined up for today, and that's how we ended up with Ninja Chris. Thanks, Ninja.
Oh, you're welcome.
I like how you said you classified one of the hosts. We had someone lined up. Like, he's on the show. It's part of it. Oh my god.
Anyways, so today we're talking about time travel. Man, do we have a show for you guys today. I guess we're just gonna jump right in because we have a lot to get out to you and not a lot of time to do it. So we'll just jump right in with the simple question: what is time travel? Time travel is a term given to the hypothetical ability to move between different points in time other than your present time. This refers to both forward and backwards in time. So, what do you guys think about time travel?
Dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous, yes.
That's the word I want to use. Dangerous. Yeah.
I would agree. And we'll get into that a little bit later on.
In a philosophical sense, when it comes to time travel, the idea that you're going to step backwards in time, you don't know which of the parallel dimensions you're going to end up in. So you can't guarantee you'll actually return to your actual dimension in the time that you went to. Like, for instance, if you went back in time and left your children in the future, right? You left your children in your present and you went backwards in time. You can't guarantee that those will be the same iteration of your children when you return. So are they really your children?
Very true.
And that's scary.
We're going to talk about a lot of scary concepts here today. And a lot of this stuff is going to be reliant on some information that we put out in prior episodes. If anybody's looking for episodes to kind of look into to get caught up on some of this information, you can listen to our episodes Interdimensionals and ETs with Mystery Mike from Hush Hush Society. That's one. We're going to refer back to that episode a couple times. And then another one called Parallel Worlds in the Multiverse. That's the other episode that you're going to want to listen to. And this episode is going to kind of be the preface for a lot of other content that we're going to get into later on in this podcast. So there's going to be some real crucial information put out kind of as the building blocks for other episodes. So if for some reason we lose you, we're going to really do our best. I really took my time to kind of dissolve a lot of this information and put it into layman's terms. Anybody is ever confused, don't hesitate to reach out to CJ or myself and ask us to explain it a little bit more. We can do so through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email, whatever you want to reach out to us. And before we get really going into this episode, I just want to remind everybody, as we said on the last episode, if you have some time to head over to iTunes or Podchaser and leave us a review, that would be greatly appreciated. We really just want to know how we're doing. We want other people to see that we're a quality podcast, and we're working on getting you guys some more content to enjoy. And in return, we just want to know how we're doing. You guys have anything that you want to put out before we jump into this?
No,
not really. I'm just going to go with the flow.
First thing, let's jump into what is time. If we are going to talk about time travel, we should understand what time is. If you listen to an older episode of ours called Parallel Worlds in the Multiverse, you will be familiar with time being referred to as the fourth dimension. Albert Einstein once stated that time is relative. It can vary for different individuals depending on their speed throughout space. And again, if you listen to that same episode, you would know that the space that Einstein was referring to is someone or something's position on a specific set of coordinates on the X, Y, and Z axis. For example, I am on the ground level at my house in the state of Virginia. If you knew a little bit more information, you would be able to tell exactly where I am in the three-dimensional world. Now, let's add that it's 8:30 at night on March 6th. Now you know my exact position on all four dimensions that we will be talking about today. Unfortunately, for the theory of time travel, the fourth dimension also has a stipulation to it. Time only moves forward from our perception in the world that we live in. But, as Einstein said, time can affect you differently depending on your speed compared to something else. For example, according to Einstein's theory of special relativity, if someone were to approach the speed of light, they would age a lot slower than a person standing still. Another thing to note about the theory of special relativity is that gravity can affect time by bending it. Believe it or not, this has been proven by a tool of the modern world. GPS satellites have extremely accurate clocks. They need to in order to properly do their jobs. If the clocks on board the satellites go without being corrected, they gain 38 microseconds a day. This effect is called time dilation, which is going to be extremely important for explaining time travel. Are you guys familiar with time dilation at all?
Yeah, and it kind of goes with something that someone named John Wheeler said in relation to gravity and time, and it's that space-time tells matter how to move, and then matter tells space-time how to curve. So they exist in one and the same, and it's because of the way that space behaves, and it behaves sort of like a flat surface with gravity affecting large bodies.
Right.
So you have like the sun, and then the gravity pulls on, say, Earth in its as these large planetary bodies, and then because of that gravity, it forces light and time to bend around that. So that's how you end up with special relativity and things like that. Well, to understand time dilation, you have to understand time relativity first, like in a more detailed scenario. So like things are perceived to be moving, and what is the term? It's with respect to.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you have your car and your car is going on the highway at 60 miles per hour, your car is moving at 60 miles per hour in respect to the road cone that's standing there not moving.
Yeah.
But if you had a second car moving at 20 miles per hour in the same direction, the 60 mile per hour car is actually moving at 40 miles per hour in respect to car B.
Yes.
Right. And then if you had a car coming in the same direction at 20 miles per hour, your first car is still moving 60 miles per hour in respect to that other car. So you have this thing. And then Einstein actually came up with the whole thing of time relativity in the spring of 1905 by watching a window washer. And he actually wondered what would happen if the window washer fell, right? But not like from his perspective. He wondered what it would be like from the window washer's perspective, because in a free fall, if you have nothing pushing against you, what you have is gravity and acceleration, right? And that would be a constant as you move through space. And
yeah, but with gravity, there's terminal velocity. You can only go so fast when you drop,
because you have something pressing against you.
Yes.
Right. So if we actually didn't have air, right, there wouldn't be a terminal, right? Because there's no equal and opposing reaction.
Yes.
Or force, whatever. And in outer space, you can't tell the difference between acceleration and gravity. So in space, light is the only thing that doesn't observe the relativity, like that car example I provided.
Yeah.
Light does not observe the same rule as that. So if you had light moving in a direction of 60 miles per hour, if you had another stream of light moving at 20, that other stream of light is still moving at 60, right? It doesn't follow the same rules. So in space, light goes at 9.8 meters per second, and it travels in a straight line, right? But it doesn't. It actually curves because of gravity. Okay. So the idea is if you were in a spaceship and you were traveling at 9.8 meters per second, the beam of light would travel straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And because of that because of that acceleration and the way gravity stretches time, that's how you actually slow time down for yourself. If any of that made any sort of sense.
Yeah. Well, I did a lot of research into this. Yeah, absolutely.
You need mass and energy to cause gravity, which will curve time in space.
The next question is, so how do we time travel? Although we don't have proof of this, one strong theory for time travel is to go faster than the speed of light. Look at that. Fed right into it. So the speed of light is 186,000 miles per second, or 299,000 kilometers per second in a vacuum. But again, according to Einstein, you can't go faster than the speed of light. But Einstein's own equations allow for the possibility of what we call wormholes. Wormholes are theoretical shortcuts through time and space, mostly thought of for long distance travel throughout the universe. Another very dangerous theory for time travel forward through time would be to fly a spaceship very close to a black hole. A black hole is a place in space that gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. If you remember what we said about the theory of special relativity and the GPS satellites, we know that gravity affects time. Therefore, being close to a black hole and traveling very fast would cause anybody on board to experience time much slower than people here on Earth. So when they return, a lot of time would have passed here, but they would be roughly the same age as when they left. That is, of course, if there was a black hole close enough, or if we made one close enough.
Yeah, the biggest thing with black holes and the observance of time distortion is when you get towards the center of the black hole, which creates something that's infinitely small with an infinite amount of density, and they called it a singularity. And the reason that Einstein said that you would not be able to travel faster than the speed of light is because of the idea of the singularity. Because to work with time distortion involving the singularities, you need quantum mechanics. And the equations involved with singularities don't work with quantum mechanics, and you actually have to move to quantum gravity.
This is some real dense information.
Oh, it's super, super is. And there's a really good YouTube channel that explains it. It like lays it out in layman's terms, which is where I got a whole lot of my information from. This guy was fantastic. I'll look it up real quick. Give that guy a shout out real fast because it made research for this completely possible. With that YouTuber, who explains things in layman's terms, his name is Arvin Ash, and his videos were fantastic and made everything I looked at possible.
Arvin Ash. Nice. Okay. Definitely going to check out some of his stuff too. Oh, he's got a bio page, like a website.
Yeah, dude. His videos are bomb.
Awesome. There you go, guys. If you guys want to hear some good breakdowns of time travel, check out Arvin Ash. It's really cool.
Well, it wasn't time travel specifically. He explained time relativity and then time dilation in a way that was understandable for somebody without a PhD.
Cool. I look forward to checking that out too. So the next question that we have is, how would a time machine work? One of the most common ways that a time machine would be thought to be able to work is to create a loop in time. This would be done by obtaining or creating matter so dense, even if for a split second, that it would cause the fabric of space-time to bend so far that it loops back onto itself. Think of it like this. Take a towel, lay it on the ground, that is space-time, and put a golf ball in the middle of the towel. That would be the matter that causes gravity. So by placing the ball into the middle of the towel and lifting the towel from all four corners, what happens? The ball makes a dimple in the middle of the towel. Now, what happens if the ball is extremely heavy? That dimple may be so deep that the fabric from the towel might touch itself at top of the ball. This is theoretically how to create a time loop. So as that fabric comes over the ball and makes contact with itself, that is how it is theorized that we can bend space-time and create these time loops. Obviously, that's extremely difficult to think about, and needs a lot more diving into that I don't have right now. But for the gist of it, that's what they're theorizing.
There's another way they theorized for time travel, and there's a guy who actually built a machine to do it. Like we said previously, light maintains a constant velocity regardless of its situation. But in order to maintain that speed, time has to slow. And in order for time to slow, gravity comes into play, right? So time slows gravity so that the speed of light can remain constant, if we understand where that's going, right? So there's a professor over in the University of Connecticut. His name is Professor Ron Mallett, and he was inspired by the death of his father to create a time machine. And in his thought process, right, he looked and said, all right, well, light can control gravity, right? Yeah. Because the speed of light will determine gravity because it needs to maintain itself, right? And then gravity controls time. It's because light will need to control gravity in order to maintain its speed, but in order to maintain its speed, gravity has to control time. The key to time travel then would be light. Like what Jeremy said before, you're looking at things like black holes, wormholes, and cosmic strings and other space phenomena. What Professor Ron Mallett wants to do is he wants to harness gravity in order to control time. And in order to do that, he uses light. So he made this machine, and he has this prototype, a model, maybe.
Yeah.
And it utilizes these lasers, and these lasers form this crisscross like a grid almost. Okay. And the idea is it'll, like Jeremy said, create a circulating light. So this light comes in, it loops back around, and it hits itself, which creates a time loop. Mm-hmm. And this model is very small scale. In his actual scale model, he'll be using something like 10,000 lasers, right?
Damn.
And when you combine these lasers together, you're going to be able to create a little miniature like wormhole, or not wormhole, a black hole almost, where you'll be able to harness gravity by forcing this light into a circulating pattern, which is literally what a black hole is. It's light that just spins in a big old circle really, really fast and maintains enormous gravitational pull. So he has this model, and the idea behind it is not necessarily so that we can send people into the past, but so we can send information into the past.
Ooh.
His idea is that maybe you'd be able to send a cure for AIDS into the past and stop all of those people from dying and things like that. And it was really, really interesting. The gentleman is still alive to this day, 75 years old, University of Connecticut professor. Extremely smart. I was looking up a lot of his stuff online, and I watched him talk on an episode of National Geographic, and that's the one I was able to understand. Some of his other work was a little bit complex.
Okay.
Not necessarily because I'm a stupid person, but just because he's so incredibly smart that it's just like, wow.
So mental level.
Oh my God, dude. Like, if you're ever going to get into astrophysics or anything like that, or anybody out who's listening to the show right now who's in that field, this is a man you'd want to get into his class, or at least have a chance to talk with or study his work or something, because he from what I understand, he was able to successfully make light behave in a way that mimicked then gravity.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So like he was successful on a level. He was able to do this.
Yeah.
That is insane.
He's gonna send himself a message from the future. Invest in Zoom.
That's fucked up. Like
maybe a little bit. Sorry.
Well, like there's that other idea though. Is like if you do travel in time, especially backwards, are you going to end up where you think you're going to end up? The question is, say we travel back to 1935. Right? Mm-hmm. You do the little time machine, you hop back to 1935. Do you land in the same history we learned about in school, or do you land in a history where the Nazis won?
Such a strange concept. It's mind-blowing the amount of differences or parallel worlds, universes that you can go to. It's what's that called? The grandfather paradox. The grandfather paradox.
Yeah, where you travel back in time and make yourself and be your own grandpa.
Pretty much, but
yeah.
I think I get into that. Actually, I get into that next. So I'm going to jump into my next topic here real quick.
Well, to just to finish up what I was saying, like in order to really explain that stuff, it's another thing you have to get back into quantum mechanics and understand something that's like quantum superpositioning and quantum time entanglement. And that's what gives you the series. Like if you go back in time, will you end up where you think you are? That's because of entanglement in itself.
Mm-hmm. Strange.
Which is a really complex a concept, which I actually do have an understanding of entanglement, but dude, that's an entire episode in its own.
Absolutely. We should cover that. So that's kind of a perfect segue into my next question, right? Or my next topic here. Problems with time travel. The most famous problem with time travel is a problem that has been expressed in many movies, books, and TV shows. This is none other than what is referred to as the grandfather paradox. The grandfather paradox refers to the possibility that what you do in the past may change what happens to your present time, such as altering your grandfather's life. Changing someone's life path in any way could send ripples throughout time and change many different outcomes. One example may be if you stopped your grandfather from joining the army, and in turn he never met your grandmother, which means that your mother was never born, which then means that you were never born. This is a very well-known paradox throughout pop culture and science fiction. The possible outcomes of altering the past is infinite, and you can never know what could come from such a small event, such as helping someone up after they had fallen. So, we've all seen movies where grandfather paradox comes into effect, right?
Yeah, the butterfly effect and everything.
I was thinking more of like Back to the Future, right?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And then
Futurama did it too.
I was just gonna say Futurama when Fry slept with his grandmother.
I mean, she was in her 20s at the time. She was a good-looking girl.
She'd be real popular in Pornhub right now.
And blown up by a nuclear bomb. Testing facility. Yeah. I love Futurama. That is one of the best shows ever created.
It's supposed to be a comedy show, makes you cry regularly.
Oh, it does.
I just like the fact that it's a bunch of scientists that decided to make a TV show.
And Matt Groening.
And Matt Groening.
Yeah.
Which may or may not come into play in a future episode. Who knows?
Hey.
Yeah. I know it's just like the scientific community be like, all of the actual science stuff that is not obviously made up, but most of the science is actually sound in that show.
It is. It is.
That's the awesome part. Like they have like 4 people, the writers, just like they're all PhD scientists.
Yeah.
And all the science is correct.
Or I'm just going to throw this out there. But what if everything that is in Futurama is real and we're actually looking at the future of the planet? We'll get into that in a possibly, maybe, who knows, maybe sort of another episode somewhere down the road.
Hey.
Okay.
Maybe.
Jeremy, are you traveling in the future and you know what's coming?
I don't know. But maybe somebody else does.
Secrets of time travel?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I see into the future. Maybe there's a big hint right there for anybody interested in another episode coming up. So, guys, what do you think? Is time travel possible?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after looking into Professor Ron Mallett and his work and everything that he accomplished, 100%. And I think it'll happen in our lifetime. Maybe not public knowledge. But yeah, I think it is.
So what do you think, Ninja?
I think it could be possible. I'm not sure if it's our lifetime, even secret, but I mean, I know there's a lot of people looking into it. It depends on if we have the things to actually, like the actual equipment. Like they would have to invent new equipment to do this. I mean, technology jumps every year, so I mean, it quite possibly can, but
I don't know, man.
To be fully controlled and harnessed,
I don't know.
I don't know about our lifetime.
You take Dr. Mallett's machine and you scale it up, and it works the same way. It'll literally be a Stargate.
I don't know.
I didn't watch much of that show. I've seen only a few episodes.
You
I
know
of
what?
it.
Shame on you. Shame on Jeremy for letting you on this show. Shame on your cat.
I've never seen
my cat?
Stargate either.
I don't even have a
You've
cat.
never seen I hate all of you guys.
All I know is Kevin Sorbo is on there.
You're all like, everyone's like Star Trek, and everybody's like Star Wars, and I'm over here like Stargate.
I mean, I know it's a good show. I mean, I just never have gotten to watch it.
Dude, I was watching Stargate Atlantis, and I got halfway through the season, and they removed it from the service I was watching it on. It was Amazon Prime, and they just took it off, and I'm like, "Where's my show?" It was like a pivotal moment too, like there was like a war going on, and there was a serious thing about to happen that was going to like turn the tides of the battle, and I did not get to see it, and I was like, "You son of a bitch."
That's funny. I mean, another good show that would deal with this would be, have you seen Quantum Leap?
No, I've seen Sliders.
Quantum Leap is awesome.
You seen Sliders, Jeremy?
No.
How the hell did you not see Sliders? It was one of the biggest shows in the 90s.
No. I'll tell you though, I did just watch a show on Netflix that kind of dealt with this, and it was really, really good. You guys ever seen Dark?
Yes.
That sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen a lot of it.
Dark's good.
Dark is amazing. Mind-blowingly good show. If anybody wants to watch it, it's German, right? Isn't it German? What is it?
I don't remember. I watch a lot of shit like that. So
you gotta watch it either dubbed or subbed, and you gotta pay attention to it. Don't sit there and look at your phone all the time. This isn't one of those shows. You have to pay attention to it. But it deals with time travel back and forward throughout time, and it works with time loops and everything. It is such an awesome show. My wife got really into it. It's like one of those things where eventually in my lifetime I'm going to rewatch it, because now I know what happens, and I need to see all the little intricate details and everything that they put into it. The rewatch value on this show is insane. That's all I gotta say.
You know, the one thing that I do notice is a highly philosophical point of contention that I have with all of these shows that deal with time travel and these media presentations of time travel. And that's if we do look at things like time relativity and time dilation and the quantum mechanics involved with that, even though we can't link the two, right? So if you're moving away from Earth at the speed of light and you travel for 5 years and you travel 5 years back, you know, say you left at like the age of like 25, you might be 30 when you get back, but everybody else here is going to be like 75, right? Your
if
friends,
not more, yeah,
right. So what would be the point? Why would we even want to do that? You know what I mean? Say, at that rate of speed, you traveled at the speed of light away from Earth for 15 years, right? And came back, and you're still alive. You're 45, 50 years old now, and you come back, and humanity has wiped itself off the face of the earth because we are a bunch of idiots. At the end of the day, the human race as a species, we are idiots, and we do dumb shit. And we've come so close to killing ourselves so many times. Like they were saying, if we hadn't ended the use of DDT when we ended that, we would already be dead by like 2030 or something like that. We'd be gone. So like, we've almost killed ourselves. I can't tell you how many times we're worried about asteroids hitting us.
We're still doing that all the time. Anything new that comes up, we are so close to killing ourselves on so many different levels.
Right. And if you look at the conspiracies, like even things like COVID-19, and you look at the conspiracies around that, saying it was like a man-made engineered virus, look at the damage it's doing. If that's true and it's man-made, and look at the damage it's done.
Yeah.
We are so close to wiping ourselves off the face of the earth. Why would you want to travel into the future?
Oh, it started like freaking Resident Evil. Some guy just threw a canister, and that's how it got out.
So you have these shows where these people, they travel into the future and then they come back or whatever. But it's like, you know, they travel and then they return and like everybody's like okay and everything's happy and everything, but they don't seem to have any sort of issues going on. Like, wouldn't there be something like you get on a plane, right? You get on a plane and you travel to another country, you experience jet lag. Would you not have some sort of time travel lag?
I don't think so. Well, maybe. In a sense, yes, but no, I don't think you would. Actually, see, going back to your original question there, right? Why would we even do it? The only reason why we would ever do anything like that would just be to strictly prove that that's how physics works. I think that's the only reason why to do it.
Why do we do it? Because we can.
Yeah. Yeah. I was proving a point.
That's literally the only reason why, because you wouldn't do it to add to the history books. I mean, just to say that you did, that's it. But you're not adding to history. You're not adding anything because history is happening while you're gone. So you're not really doing anything historical other than just proving how the theory of some physics. But yeah, you're right. You'd come back and basically it'd be torturous to anybody who left. They'd come back and their kids would be older than them and their spouses would be dead. Their parents would be gone. Friends would pass away or move to far off places, and they'd come back and be completely alone. Most likely, it would be horrible.
And that's just future travel. If you look at traveling back in time, right?
Mhm.
Say you're standing in a room with a person. The person says, "I'm going to travel back in time, and I'm going to come through the door that we came in."
Mhm.
In an ideal situation, they travel backwards in time, and as soon as they disappear, they walk through that door again. They're like, "Hey, it worked," and you're like, "Hey, that's great." But they experience quantum time entanglement. Now they disappear and they never come back.
Mhm.
And you're standing there like, what happened? But they end up in a different, in a parallel dimension on a different time. When they walk through that door, and the person they walk in on doesn't know who they are.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They come back, but they don't come back to the same world that they originally left, which would be just man, mind blowing.
So not being able to control time entanglement, why would you want to travel into the past? You can't guarantee you won't fuck everything up. And that's kind of where the show Sliders comes into play that I mentioned before. The premise of that show is they create this device that allows them to jump to different parallel dimensions. The dice malfunctions,
Mhm.
and they aren't able to return to their specific dimension. So they slide at random, hoping to return to their own dimension. In a sense, I know it's not directly time travel within the show Sliders. They're just hopping into parallel dimensions.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the same prospect by traveling reverse in time.
I'm gonna have to check that show out.
It's old, but it's super good. It was really popular in the 90s. I think it's on Netflix.
I believe that we will never be able to go back in time. I think
No?
we'll be able to go forward. I do.
Okay.
I think that when time travel becomes available, we will be able to go forward in time.
I mean, we're already going forward in time.
No, I know, but just at an accelerated pace. Like you're
Okay.
going to outpace current events. I fully believe that that is possible.
Okay.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
I think that the only way that we'll be able to go back in time, and we've seen this in again, a lot of pop culture, movies such as The Time Machine, I believe, did it, and yet again, Futurama, is only if time loops. If we are stuck in an endless loop of time, that is the only way that we're going to be able to go back in time, and that's by going so far forward that we eventually loop back to the beginning of time, and then we come up from the bottom and we come to whatever point in time that we want to go to.
Do you know what thing makes time travel an extreme possibility?
What's that?
Simulation theory.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm referring to earlier when I said that this is going to be the base for a lot of other episodes. That is another one of those episodes where I was kind of hinting towards where we're eventually going to get into the simulation theory, and this episode is going to be a foundation for that.
The idea is like in the event that simulation theory is correct, we would be able to travel backwards and forwards in time without any sort of worries.
Absolutely. And I think that is, if we ever, let me take my previous statement back and say that if we're ever able to go backwards in time, another possibility is that if simulation theory is correct. Simulation theory would have to be correct in order for us to go back in time without having to loop forward.
With confidence. I would say with confidence.
True. Very true.
Didn't Da Vinci make a time traveling or plans for a time traveling device?
Da Vinci had plans for all kinds of shit.
He did.
But I think, honestly, within my research, the humans have been fascinated with the concept of time travel for forever. Really, like throughout recorded history, they've always wondered about going forward or backwards in time.
Yeah.
So probably
it's the same thing with having like flying cars and.
We have flying cars. The only reason they're not mass marketed is because they don't have a way to regulate air laws.
Yeah, that's true.
Like 100%. Like they have flying cars. They exist. They just don't have a way to regulate air traffic for flying cars.
Yeah.
I think creating it at a reasonable price for the average person to buy too, and to be able to put everybody through the school, basically through pilot school, would be insanely difficult and not cost effective whatsoever.
I mean, they did it in the Jetsons, man. They got little highways.
I think the Jetsons takes place in 2021, doesn't it not?
Oh, I'm
not sure. That's actually a very good question. We're looking this up. Yeah. We're going back to our childhood shows. We need to know what happened.
Let's find that out.
2062, sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
2060. So it's not even that far off. We'll see that year in our time.
We will.
Probably. Unless something kills us. Whatever.
if we get there.
I mean, the only doomsday thing that's the closest to mass wipeout is, I think, Halley's Comet.
I want to play a game with you guys, since we talked about time travel and speculated on its possibilities and whatnot.
So it's like Saw?
Not quite.
All right.
So I have a couple of things I got off a Rhett and Link video.
Ooh.
And
I love those guys. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, Rhett and Link is awesome. So these are a couple of time travel scenarios. And I was watching the video and they went over this. So the game here is real or bullshit, right?
Cool.
Okay.
So I'm gonna name a situation, and I want you to determine if it's real or if it's nonsense. So the first one we have here is in 1928 in the Chinese theater. It was a premiere of a Charlie Chaplin movie. It's a moving picture. You can see the video. Walking behind a zebra is a woman who appears to be using a cell phone. Evidence of time travel, real or bullshit? Jeremy?
I have a lot of information on this.
You get to go second then. Ninja, real or bullshit?
And it's on a Charlie Chaplin?
It's on the video. You can see it.
And there's a person there with a cell phone?
What appears to be a cell phone, yes.
I'll go with bullshit.
All right, now it's your turn, Jeremy.
Oh, man, I'm going to, just because of my previous statement, when I said I think we can only go forward in time, I'm going to say bullshit. But this is intense. So the information I have on this, on the DVD release of the 1928 silver screen movie, The Circus by Charlie Chaplin, the bonus content reveals long lost footage of the set of the movie. One small clip in this footage seems to show a woman holding a device up to her ear and having a conversation alone as if she were talking onto a phone. Obviously, in 1928, there was no such thing as cell phones. Historians believe that she was not a time traveler, but she was using a device used as one of the first adaptations of hearing aids called an ear trumpet or an acousticon. This is hard to believe because a hearing aid during the 1820s averagely costed $120 or $1,035 by today's standards and was not commonly affordable to many people at the time. Seeing how this woman was not a major star in the movie and was most likely an extra receiving very little pay, that is most likely not the answer to this mystery. But what if she was a time traveler? What if this woman was talking on a device that was able to communicate across timelines and throughout dimensions? So I had to do a lot of this research myself on this particular subject, and I didn't find all this information in one spot. Okay, the price of the ear trumpet and all that, I had to look that up myself, and nobody anywhere kind of really deep dived into this particular subject, so I had to do it myself. And I'm telling you, the whole video clip, you can clearly see that she has something to her ear. There is something in her hand, shaped like a cell phone, to her ear. And although the video is kind of grainy because it was in 1928, it does look like she's talking into something. And she's not using it to listen. She's not being talked to. There's no other audio going on other than just the background noise of the set. She does look like she's actively talking and not listening. So having an ear trumpet, I do not believe is the answer, nor was the ear trumpet back in 1928 small enough to be something to really hold up to your ear and then kind of be disguised by the size of your hand. This was a huge piece of equipment.
I did find a picture of an ear trumpet, though, a modified version from that time period, that it was actually folded onto itself rather than sticking out, and it would have easily have fit in your hand.
Well, so the ones that I found, there was a piece that you had to put into like your pocket or clip onto your belt, and then there was a wire going up to it where you were holding it to your ear, kind of like the old wired home phones where you had the set that was on the wall and then the cord that came to the handpiece. It was set up
always tangled.
That was always tangled. Could never get through that, but it was set up in a similar fashion, but it was battery controlled, or actually there was a couple of them that were wind-ups, like the old wind-up radios or wind-up toys that you can wind up really quick and create a generated power and clip it onto your belt and walk around and hold it up to your ear and helped you with hearing sounds that you couldn't normally hear, with amplifying the surrounding sound waves around you. So I don't know, man. I don't think so.
The one that I found wasn't necessarily an ear trumpet. It was a modified version of what we would have called an ear horn, which is what Beethoven used to use to hear. And this is non-electrical at all. It's just got a wide opening that catches sound, delivers it down to a smaller tube and into your ear canal. And this was folded onto itself and would have fit in the palm of your hand, and wouldn't necessarily have been a hearing aid device. It would have been used for a hearing aid device, obviously. Yeah. But it was also commonly used for people who wanted to eavesdrop on conversation.
That could totally be a thing. Or multiple personality disorder. She was having a conversation with herself.
Possible. Yes. Pretending she's on the... Maybe she was method acting for the next show she was supposed to be on. Maybe. That's a theory I haven't heard yet. Maybe she was method acting, just practicing.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of actors do that. They'll go and they'll do random shit, act like they're actually doing it. So her having something in her hand could have been like she had a telephone call within her next audition or something, and she just, made it look like it.
But hold on, because just one more thing is that I dived into the casting of that movie too, and she was not listed on the casting. Like, film historians cannot tell you who this woman was. She was clearly an extra on the set, but they do not have a record of who she was.
Early 1900s photobomb.
Well, clearly, right?
You think back in those days where it's just like they could pick people off the street. It's not going to be a name. It probably had a friend of a friend that came in. It was probably something that just wasn't there. Somebody just sneaked in.
Hey, you want to make $5 real quick? Yeah, I need to walk past this camera.
But that's what I'm saying is that I don't think she's getting ready for her next set, is because I think she's just a civilian.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so the next one is my personal favorite. Right? My absolute personal favorite. Håkan Nordefist.
I don't even know what you just said.
This is the person's name. It's Håkan Nordefist.
Okay.
He has a YouTube channel. And in this YouTube channel, he claims to have traveled back in time and have spoken to himself. And in the video, he's working on a leaky sink and he finds a tunnel. And he travels down that tunnel, which allows him to encounter his future self, his older self. And in the video, they present their arms and they have the same tattoo and everything. And then they claim they have like this real deep conversation, and he went back through the tunnel and came back to his own time. Real?
So it was just under his sink?
Yeah. Real or bullshit?
So Coraline?
100% Coraline. This is a video you can look up on YouTube and watch if you'd like.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. But this guy had a random wormhole under his sink.
Yes. Not even a wormhole, just a tunnel.
I mean, I wouldn't believe that it would happen. Like, the guy's just like, I was fixing my sink and there was a hole and I saw my future self.
What do you think, Jeremy? Real shit.
This is 100% bullshit. I know this story very well.
It really is. It was an advertisement in Sweden for a retirement community.
Okay, yeah. But I was going to say...
They posed it as real, though.
Yeah, they were trying to sell insurance and everything off of it.
Oh, yeah. The last one I'm going to talk about is probably one of the most well-known ones. In 1941, there was a photo taken, and in that photo, people have identified what they call the Time Travelling Hipster. They identify because he has sunglasses, and he's wearing what appears to be a hoodie and a modern-day T-shirt. Real or bullshit?
A modern-day T-shirt of, like, what kind? Does it have a logo on it?
You got to look this picture up first. Just look up Time Travelling Hipster.
Time Travelling Hipster.
Yeah. What do you think? Is real bullshit?
I can see people thinking it's real, but I still think it's bullshit.
What about you, Jeremy? Real bullshit?
I'm going to, again, only because I said bullshit to backwards time travel, I'm going to go bullshit. But I have some information for you. As CJ was saying, a photograph highlighting many people awaiting the opening of the Gold Bridge in 1941 in British Columbia seems to highlight a man in the middle of a crowd. The problem with this man is that he seems to not be wearing clothes from this timeline. In fact, these clothes look like they're from an average teen or young to middle-aged adult from today's standards. In a crowd of people in fancy coats, three-piece suits, time-appropriate dresses, and hairstyles, this man is rocking what seems to be a logo tee, half-zipped light hoodie, modern sunglasses, disheveled hair, and holding a camera with a glass screen. The argument from skeptics is that this man is not from the future and his clothes are a little strange for the time, but not impossible. The claim for the t-shirt is that it seems to be a jersey worn by a player for the Montreal Maroons hockey team. After a little of my own research, this is easily debunked in my mind due to the Maroons logo being a solid white M in the middle of the jersey in 1941. Although it could be an M that is highlighted on his shirt, it would be a cutout of the letter instead of the standalone letter itself. Is he a time traveler? I don't know.
I say bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you?
I say yes. If you look at the haircut of the other people that are in the picture, his haircut is actually not uncommon for the time period. In fact, there's another gentleman in the picture with the exact same haircut going on. The hoodie that he's wearing would actually be like an over jacket, and then the shirt with the M on it underneath would have been a sweater with a very common zigzag pattern that everyone should be familiar with. As a popular character, Charlie Brown sported that same pattern on his t-shirt. It was also very popular back in that time period.
Yeah, but that was a solid yellow shirt with
a black zigzag pattern. However, this is a black and white photo. The pattern itself would have been popular, not necessarily the colors. Although the colors could have been popular too. I don't know if people were rocking black and yellow back then.
He just kind of has that hipster look to him, though, man. I mean, does he not? Let's be honest about it.
The sunglasses part, though, were not actually sunglasses. They would have been a common set of goggles used back then for certain job things or whatever.
So you think maybe he was a worker?
More than likely, he was involved in some shit. But yeah, like those aren't actually sunglasses; they're goggles.
And there's a photoshopped one that I see because somebody put a Pabst Blue Ribbon thing on his shirt, but like it shows like his head is the same. Like they didn't fuck with the head, and they do look like welder's goggles.
Yeah, they're safety goggles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that definitely I could say is like he was probably a welder or something.
He's wearing safety goggles. Yeah, They're not actually sunglasses; they're safety goggles. So
I totally get it. Pabst Blue Ribbon hipster. Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
All right, and then the one that I skipped. His name is Van Helton. He has a YouTube channel as well, and he claims to be a time traveler who has traveled through hundreds of years. And in one of his things, he has a series of 4 pictures that demonstrates him in several different time periods from the 1400s to present. You guys think he's full of shit, or do you think he's for real?
I'm completely unfamiliar with this one.
Oh, he has pictures.
Yeah, he's got it's 4 pictures lined up. And it starts in the 1400s and moves to present time.
What was his name?
Van Helton.
Like present time as in now or present time?
Yeah, present time is now.
Okay.
From the 1400, I think like the first image is like 1492 or 1419 or something like that. And then it goes to present time.
Oh, I see it. That nose, though.
That nose.
I mean, look at these pictures. The nose. Okay, so are you guys looking at the picture right now?
Hold on.
I looked at it earlier.
What was his name?
Listen, I got these names from a Rhett and Link video, so I looked into it from there.
What was the dude's name?
Van Helton.
I'm gonna say bullshit in that you're not looking at the same person. If you look at the ears, the nose is very similar. The head shape is very similar. The eyes are a little off on the middle too. But if you look at the ears on all four of them, they are different. They're completely different.
This one's up to speculation, actually.
Yeah.
People aren't sure if he's full of shit or not. Most people think he is, but it's not actually proven.
I'm gonna have to do some more research into this. But just looking at his ears, like the dominant and recessive gene, where you have the earlobe, or you have the ear without an earlobe. It looks like the first picture from 1857, he clearly has earlobes, and the one in 1916, it looks like he has either very small earlobes or no earlobe at all, which would be a huge sign of them being completely different people.
Yeah, people aren't 100% sure either way.
I mean, considering it's now, if you're really good with Photoshop, you can make anything.
True.
Yeah. Actually, that's what Rhett and Link said. They said, well, if you look at the photos, they're all lined up. He clearly means he understands at least basic operation of Photoshop.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was Link said that, he understands how to use Photoshop.
Yeah.
I mean, lining up pictures is a basic operation. I kind of put that part in there myself. But he might understand how to use Photoshop. At the same time, I could not find any expert analysis of this particular photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still calling bullshit.
Oh, probably, dude.
Yeah. But what do you think of celebrities that people said have been like immortal or vampires, that they have like really old pictures and then them now?
Yeah.
There's like Nick Cage, there's a lot of people. Johnny Depp,
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon. You seen that one?
Nah, I haven't.
Jimmy Fallon has one where he, like, this picture looks just like him.
Yeah, I saw one. There's a Jack Black and Eddie Murphy. I haven't seen those before. I actually just looked this up.
John Malkovich is another one.
Well, people keep taking control of his body, so people are just using him as an immortality.
There's a lot. I mean, you could basically just Google any celebrity and look up time travel next to it, and you'll see something.
But do you think it would just be like a random relative of theirs that's just somebody found a picture and they're like, oh, that's totally him?
What I'm going to say, I'm going to put it this way. Money tends to stay where it is.
True.
So if you have money, you're going to pass that to your kids, and your kids are going to keep that money. They're going to pass it to their kids. Money tends to hang out in the same families. Like
some families overspend and do stupid shit.
Yeah, I think the science behind it is if you go back 6 generations, you're basically no longer related to any of those people. Mm-hmm. Even though we would all share common ancestors along the lines, if you go back enough generations, and I think the number is 6, genetically you aren't really related to those people anymore. Your genes just don't line up anymore.
So, CJ, I want to kind of build off of your little game there, man. I got 2 more things to add to it.
Go for it.
I've got the stories of John Titor and Andrew Carlssin. And I want to know if you guys think it's fact or bullshit.
Okay.
All right. John Titor. In the year 2000, a man claiming to be a time traveler from the year 2036 laid claims that he was here on a military mission to help change the course of history. Mr. Titor communicated through an online bulletin board. On this message board and many, many others, he began to make claims about the future that would come true if the current trajectory of history stayed true. His predictions included a civil war at the beginning of 2004 due to the presidential election of that year. As a result of the war, the United States would split into 5 regions and would only end in 2015 after a brief but nuclear World War III in 2015. This fast-moving world war would end on what will be historically referred to as End Day or Nuclear Day, and that Washington, D.C. and Jacksonville, Florida would be the epicenters of the bombing. These events would lead to Omaha, Nebraska being named the new capital of the United States. Another thing he claimed was that he was here on a mission to retrieve an old IBM 5100 computer in order to debug many different legacy computer programs in his timeline, which was necessary in order to keep the technological singularity from happening. But before he could reach his final time-traveling destination, he had to stop in the year 2000 for 14 months before the correct time loop opportunity would arrive to bring him to the year he needed to be in order to retrieve the 5100. While he was in 2000, he was given instructions to nonchalantly guide specific events into happening in order to keep the Civil War from happening in the US. He claimed not to be able to say what these events were because if the wrong person was made aware of them, they could easily counteract his intentions and prevent him from altering the timeline. When confronted with the concern that the grandfather paradox would prevent him from existing if he were to do something so drastic, Mr. Titor stated that because he was from a completely different timeline, his timeline would not be interrupted, and that he was only doing these acts in order to help our timeline. In 2001, all contact with John Titor ceased, and he was never heard from again. So what do you think? Were we assisted from Mr. Titor and saved from his actions from experiencing an inevitable U.S. Civil War and nuclear World War III?
I'm going to go with bullshit. It sounds like a super well-written and very well-crafted sci-fi version of Lonely Girl 15.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
How do you not know what Lonely Girl 15 is?
I don't either.
How do you guys not? She was like one of the biggest things when we were kids.
Maybe in your timeline.
I would have been like 13 to me. Jeremy's the same age as me.
So
you would have been 14, right? You're only a year older than me, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so you would have been 14. She was a huge thing. She started off as this girl who like looked like a blogger online, and then like it devolved into like cult activity. It was wild.
I might have heard about it back then. I just don't remember.
Oh,
but it doesn't sound familiar at all.
You suck. Both of you suck. I don't know how you don't know who Lonely Girl 15 is. One of the biggest MySpace sensations since ever.
Definitely not. So you can actually go to johntitor.com and look at all of his predictions that he made, and he explains things such as the time travel may find home in large hydrogen colliders and tells you how to build a hydrogen collider and all kinds of really cool stuff. You can see the pictures of his time machine. You can see the logo that he used that he claimed was his military insignia from where he lived in Tampa, Florida. There's a ton of information. Like there's legions of people out there that followed this man's predictions and still believe that all of this could be true. And the only reason why we haven't lived through any of the stuff that he said was thanks to his actions. This website is deep, guys.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. But it could be just a guy pranking this whole thing. You can easily get a fake ID and just make up a random screen name on a website and then just disappear. Be like, no, I'm not that guy. If everyone's like, you're the guy, I'm like, no, this is my name. And even if they didn't see him, he could have gone into another country and nobody's seen him again.
I absolutely agree. I think that this is complete horseshit. But this is for anybody out there that might actually really believe in Titor and his predictions and everything. If somebody has more knowledge on this topic, please reach out to us. I would love to have you on an episode to pick your brain. I just want to learn more about this. I want to see what people actually know, because apparently there's a lot of information out there that's not readily available, and you kind of have to be grandfathered into this information. So if anybody has it out there and they want to share it, let us know. I'd love to have you on the show. All right. So we all agree bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the last one I have is Andrew Carlssin. And just so you guys know, there is actually a lot of evidence that some of this was true. We'll kind of get into that at the end. In March of 2003, Andrew Carlssin was arrested for violations of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as the SEC, for making 126 high-risk stock trades and successfully gaining money on every single one of them. Mr. Carlssin began his investments with only $800. When he was done, he had earned over $350 million over the time span of only a few years. After his arrest, he was recorded for 4 hours detailing his part in a time traveling scheme, and that he was actually from 200 years in the future. As a trade for less punishment, he claimed he could give his captors information regarding the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden and the cure for AIDS. He was documented as saying that all he needed to do was get to his time craft, and he could prove everything. Soon after his confession, which is on tape, by the way, he was bailed by an anonymous person and was never seen again. So this man was arrested, held, I don't know what you want to call it. He was held in jail or something, right? And there is recorded evidence of his conversation inside of this jail or inside of this station that he was in. There is paperwork filed on this man. There is everything, but there's no record of his existence. Fact or bullshit. And that's why I saved it for last. There's evidence of him earning this money on the stock market and everything.
Oh, wow.
You know what? I'm going to go with fact on this one because I like it.
Okay, I'm going to go bullshit because I don't believe in backwards time travel. But the reason why I like this one is because this man does exactly what I say I would do if I could go back in time. I would go back in time and buy Amazon stocks when it was $26.
Amazon, Google, Microsoft.
Yeah, this is what you would do if you could go back in time.
Just buy some stock. I would buy some crazy Google stock when it was like $5 a stock.
Well, it's the same thing like buying Hulu and how big it is today. I used to go on there when there was like 6 shows on there. Like I've seen it very early in its development. And I didn't think it was going to be huge, and now it's fucking insanely huge. But it was, I don't know if I can believe this one either. I mean, maybe he just got real lucky with the stock market and came up with a huge tail.
Yeah. This is my way of keeping my money. I'm a time traveler, and your laws don't affect me.
Pretty much.
I think that out of all the ones we talked about today, I think this one has the best chance at being real.
Yeah, it's the most believable one, but I can't see it.
I can see that. So, CJ, you got anything else, man?
No, we have reached the end of my shit.
Really? Do you have anything else to add, Ninja?
I mean, not really. I mean, the whole time travel thing is a subject I've had an interest in. I mean, it's fun science to figure out.
What he's not telling you is time travel is part of his ninja-jitsu powers.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I can't tell people about that. The more people that have it, the more dangerous it is.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up, guys. If anybody listening to this episode of Infinite Rabbit Hole wants to add to the conversation, please do so. Let us know by email or by Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Let us know if we missed out on anything. Always remember that we have these fan appreciation episodes that we do once a season, which is also going to turn into one of those extra episodes that we're going to give you guys every once in a while. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We'll come back to it on one of those fan appreciation episodes. If you guys want to be a guest, or if you guys have a strange occurrence or strange experience that you either witnessed or were the center of, let us know. We're always looking for guests to show up on the podcast. And one more thing, you guys have the chance and the time, please go to iTunes or Podchaser and leave us a review. We want to know how we're doing. Other than that, that has been another episode of Infinite Rabbit Hole. CJ, Ninja Chris, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
I look forward to obviously I'm going to be working with CJ a lot for now on, but Ninja, we'll have you back on at some point. I'm sure somebody else will blow us off, and we'll have to fall back on you again.
Yeah, 5 minutes of prep.
We'll see you guys next time on Infinite Rabbit Hole. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Infinite Rabbit Hole. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can do so at infiniterabbithole@gmail.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Infinite Rabbit Hole. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/InfiniteRH. Follow us on Instagram at infinite_rabbit_hole. We're always looking for someone that has a story to share. So if you feel like you've experienced a strange encounter with something that you can't explain, reach out to us. Let us know. Come on, have a good time, tell your story. And if for some reason you don't want to show up on a podcast, send us a letter in our email in a format that we can read to the fans, and we'll be more than happy to read it to everybody. Well, that's all for this episode. We'll see you next time down the Infinite Rabbit Hole.